Good evening, everyone. Parsha Bahar, there is a mitzvah of Lo Tonu Ish Es Achiv. The word Tonu leads to the noun Ono, which means to take advantage of, to cheat. So you're not allowed to take advantage of another Jew. This is divided into two categories. One is onoat momon, monetary matters. This is I will discuss, God willing, in a few minutes. And there also is a halacha of onoat dvorim, words that are said that do not have any monetary effect, but nevertheless, it's a violation of the law of Lo Tonu Ish Es Achiv. So let's talk about Onoat Momon first. So in the Shulchan Aruch and in the Gemara, the Onoat monetary matters has to do with buyers and sellers. Has to do with purchasing items. And I am not allowed to overcharge you more than the market value of an item. So that's no, if I do, that's a no. And you're not allowed to get a bargain from me by paying less than the market value. So then you're over, the buyer is over on Onoat. So how do we determine that? So the Gemara in Bava Metzia says sets the bar at a shtut, which loosely means a sixth. Now there are those that say that a shtut it means 6%, 6 of 100. But most of the poskim hold that a shtut is a sixth, which would be 16%, 16 2/3%. So if I have an item that is worth 100 and I charge you 110, so I'm not violating Onoa because the overcharge, so to speak, the profit is not more than a shtut. And the same thing if it's worth 100 and you buy it for 80, so then that would be Ono because it's more than the 6 that you have cut off from the price. So in general, therefore, in monetary matters, there is this din of Ono. And the Meforshim all explain that the din of Onoa applies when the parties are not aware that the Onoa is happening. For instance, again, I have a store and I'm selling a carton of milk. Carton of milk sells for, let's say, 5 shekel. Somebody comes from America, let's say, or from outside the country, and he wants to buy a carton of milk. And I see that the person is ignorant of the price. So I tell him milk in Israel costs 10 shekel. And he pays me the 10 shekel. So that's undoubtedly Ono, because I've taken advantage of him. I've cheated him. And the halacha is as follows. If the amount is less than a sixth, so then the deal is a deal and no money need to be returned. If it is more than a sixth, then the deal is not a deal. The whole transaction is canceled, and naturally I have to return any money. What if it's exactly a sixth? So then the halacha is that the deal is a deal, but the extra money has to be returned. Now, all of this is talking about a case when the buyer or the seller is unaware, is not made aware of the true value of the item. That was the case that I gave you. He's coming from Chutz La'aretz, and I tell him, and milk in Israel is 10 shekel. So that's open cheating. That's certainly a violation of Ono. What if I tell him, listen, Chaver, milk in Israel is 5 shekel, but it's late at night. I have to go back in the refrigerator to get another bottle of milk for you. So I'm going to charge you 10 shekel. If you want it, good. You don't want it, you don't have to take it. And then you accept it. You say, okay, I'll pay you 10 shekel. I need the bottle of milk. So then there's no ono, because the seller has notified him in advance what the true price is, and he has notified him in advance what he wants for it. And if the other person agrees to it, so then the halacha of the mechila applies. In effect, he's mochel the extra 5 shekel, because he knows that it doesn't cost 10. But he is willing to go through with the deal anyway for whatever reason that he has. So onoa is only when the parties are unaware, either both parties or one of the parties is unaware of what the true market value is, and is relying, so to speak, on what the seller or the buyer says. But if, for instance, you negotiate a price, he wants 10, I want to give him 5, then we're going to settle on 7. So then that is perfectly legal because we both know what's involved. And that would not be a violation of ono. So there's a corollary to this. The Gemara says, Ein ono b'karkos. When it comes to real estate, land, there's no din of ono. So there are a number of different ways that the poskim looked at this as well. One idea is there is absolutely no ono in karka, and therefore whatever is paid, and the deal is a deal. And there's no isur involved. There's another sheet that holds, I mean, that was the sheet of Thesis, but there's another sheet that it holds that ain't no b'karkos means that the extra money can never be recovered, but that you shouldn't have done it. The isur still remain. Be that as it may, why should there be a difference between karka and, let's say, a carton of milk? So the Meforshim explained very logically. There are no two places on earth that are the same. Every karka has its own location. What do they say when you buy real estate? It's location, location, location. So I'm buying this location. There is no other location that you can compare it to, because this is its only location on earth. Ono only applies when there is a comparable market value that can be established. Now you can establish what houses like this house sold for, or what the neighboring house sold for, but that has nothing to do with what you charge for this house. Because this is unique. So here we open another area completely about items that are unique. Just like there's no onoah by karka, there's no onoah by unique items as well. So Sotheby's is selling an autographed copy of Rabbi Wein's book. They want $1,000 for it. You can buy it from Rabbi Amsel for $25. But somebody pays Sotheby $1,000 because Rabbi Wein wrote notes in the book. And therefore they want that book. Is that onoah? So again, that's not onoah because it's unique. It's got somebody's signature in it. It's got somebody's notes. That this was the Maser of the Barditcher Rebbe. That this was the Siddur to go in the Vilna, whatever. All the collector's items in the world. There's no din of onoah because of the fact that they are unique. And unique, you cannot set a value on. So if you're a collector, your view of the value of something is different than if you're a plain person. You know, a book is a book, and and goodbye. So for instance, I remember a case, there was a man, he had a certain set of books, a famous set, and he was missing one volume. And he went to a well-known bookseller, and he said, get for me this volume. I want to complete my set. The bookseller told him, it's very hard to get an individual volume. And it's very hard to get this individual volume. It's not really in easy circulation. But he got it for him. Now, the volume was worth, let's say, $25. The bookseller wanted $250. Because he knew the man that was the last volume with the film, the set, etc., etc. Is he guilty of onoah? So technically he is not, because that is, to this person, that's a unique item. And he's willing to pay for it. Is that nice? That's a different matter. And so there are those that say that there is even onoah on all of those cases because it's not nice. But the halacha doesn't deal with nice alone. The halacha deals with the practicality of the law. And in the practicality of the law, there would be no din of onoah. So in our time, generally, the Meforshim say, if you have a store, you don't measure the profit on each item. Because there's an overhead, there's all sorts of things involved. And there are very few stores that operate at more than 16% net profit. In fact, most of the grocery stores operate at 1%. So therefore, there really is no din of onoah there. And therefore, even if there's an overcharge on one item, let's say he's taking $10 for milk, but in the overall expense and operation of the grocery store doesn't approach a sixth, and then there's no onoah even on that one item. If he is a store that sells only milk, that's his business. So then the onoah would apply because of the fact that he's selling only milk. So this is a general view of the halachas regarding onoas ksofim, taking advantage of someone else in monetary matters, that the Torah warns us, lo tonu ish esachim. Tomorrow, Mirz Hashem, we'll discuss onoas dvorim, taking advantage of someone through speech and words, which the Torah also forbids.
Rabbi Hanani, that Akashio, looks at the report of the doctors, if you go to the Torah, it's well, Shehammer, and I have some months in Korea, I feel, or Amen.